So Tamanna, that was so interesting about weight loss. I mean, this we are so multi-dimensional,
Yeah.
right? It's not just one aspect, and I think you covered it beautifully. Now, I want to touch upon diseases because you just
Yeah.
spoke about diabetes, cancer, and
Yeah.
all of that. So tell me, what's the spiritual and energetic root of diabetes? Because that is like India is the capital now
Yeah.
for diabetes now.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
So again, in diabetes, there's type A and type B. Type A is basically chronic trauma from childhood. People who've gone through rejection, abandonment, abuse, or low confidence, lack of self-power, a lot of shame, guilt will manifest in diabetes.
Yeah.
Type B diabetes is lifestyle or something that you chronically experience in your adulthood. So you may have had the most safe and secure childhood, but as an adult, extreme stress, extreme anger, resentment, because a child does not have extreme anger, resentment, bitterness, unforgiveness, right?
Yeah,
it's usually in adults.
Yeah, they live in the moment.
They live in the
Children
moment,
usually.
but then they also absorb. For children, as children, there are only certain emotions that you feel, which is abandonment, which is lack of nurturing, lack of support or confidence, or rejection, shame, guilt.
Yeah.
You know, even like we were talking about teachers, right? Teachers don't realize that when they punish the students, go out and stand,
Yeah.
or, you know, that's shame. They don't realize how that child is processing that shame.
Yeah.
You know, so that is good enough for it to show up or get stored in some form of trauma and show up in your physical body in, you know, another decade kind of a thing. So coming back to diabetes, type B diabetes is what you gather during your adulthood. So again, extreme trauma, divorce, multiple, you know, broken relationships. Bitterness. Any kind of bitterness, anger, resentment leads to type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
So diabetes is basically lack of sweetness
Yeah.
in life, you know, and
Yeah.
I mean, that's a common, that's very, that's something that everyone's talking about. So you may have, again, materialistically, everything going very well for you. So people who see you from the outside are like, you have everything well, but because they don't enjoy all the things right in their life because of the bitterness and anger that they're holding on to, they're constantly feeling that lack of nice things in their life.
Yeah.
You know, nice emotions, positive emotions, and that's what diabetes is. So, because again, whatever you energetically consume, your body is only going to give you that.
So you need to process your emotions to also reverse your diabetes.
Absolutely. And like as a psychic, like I've dealt with a lot of cancer cases, diabetes cases. Some diseases are purely on the physical level. Like some people have a headache, which is purely on the physical level.
Yeah.
You'll get a migraine for 2-3 days before your periods, but then it goes away. Or back pain, or weak gut or acidity issue where they eat a certain kind of food and it doesn't suit them. For some people, the same acidity, back pain, headache can be because of a mental or an emotional stress.
Yeah, because today a lot of people are facing gut issues,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
acidity, bloating, constipation,
Yeah.
IBS.
Yeah.
What are the energetic connections to that?
Every disease has a different root cause behind it.
Right.
And it starts from the mind. Okay, because again, like I said, your brain is your processor.
Yeah.
So how you're perceiving any external situation, your interpretation of that message goes through the vagus nerve into the gut. So if you're irritated, if you're constantly irritated with everyone around you, people, what becomes your energy? Irritation. Anything you put in your gut will irritate you. Okay?
Yeah.
Mild form of irritation, which is very temporary, right? Suppose you're going through a situation and which is very temporary, it will lead to acidity, acid reflux, or constipation, or loose motions. But if that irritation becomes a part of your nature
Yeah.
over a period of time as we age, like I said in the beginning, that anything that you don't process over a certain period goes and gets stored in your unconscious. And unconscious becomes your nature.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you'll see people, I'm like, oh my God, she's constantly irritated.
Yeah, you
Or
become that
you
emotion.
become that emotion, that
yeah.
angry or frustrated
Yeah.
or whatever, you know, bitter. Going through it over a certain situation is very different, because when the situation gets over, you have a choice to bounce back and let that negative emotion go.
Yeah.
But even after the situation is over, if you're still holding on to that emotion, that becomes chronic. And
Yeah.
that's what a chronic stress or chronic disease is.
Yeah, that's true.
So that will go, anything chronic will just stay with you. So then IBS or diabetes or high blood pressure or cholesterol. Of course, a lot of them is also lifestyle based.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a sum totality of everything. But also what is interesting is sometimes, like I said, a soul karmically chooses to go through certain patterns. Like I've seen cases where the soul has got 4th stage cancer. My patient client is absolutely fine. Cancer is, you know, whatever. But that soul was meant to take seva from family members.
Oh.
So it's not so much a learning or lesson for that soul, but it's a learning and lesson for the family members taking care of him. Are you getting? So
Yeah.
it can happen on so many levels. Now, sometimes what we call genetic disease or ancestral disease also manifests because the soul is meant to break through certain generational patterns.
Yeah.
But what some people do, some people just surrender to it. Runs in the family, I have it, it's okay.
Yeah, it's in my genes kind
It's
of a
in
thing.
my genes, but they are not doing the things to break through that, because if they don't break it, their child or their lineage will have to go through the same thing to break it. So, you know, just because your parents or your mother has not broken something and it's
Yeah.
passed on, if your parents or someone in your ancestral lineage would have broken it, you would not be suffering with it.
Yeah.
So every disease has a different emotion, different root cause. Sometimes it's a passing situation, sometimes it's a chronic disease, but it also shows up in different levels of your existence.
Yeah.
So like for example, cancer, we've spoken about it.
Yes, yes. I just wanted to ask you
Yeah.
about cancer after
Yeah.
this. That is it like, you know, something that the soul has chosen to go through, or is it they're holding on to resentment, because cancer comes up with a lot of resentment, right?
Yeah. So cancer is an extreme state of chronic emotional disorder which goes and gets seeped into every cell. And that's when our own cells become a threat, and that's when the immunity starts. Because you're completely changing the DNA of every cell, because there's so much of absorption of negativity or chronic emotions that you're completely changing at cellular level, and your own immunity doesn't recognize that cell as its own, right? So today, for example, if your family member goes and does a complete plastic surgery, okay, and changes its face, you will take them as a threat. You will not recognize them.
Yeah.
You know, you'll be like, who are you? You'll be ready to, you know, hit them with a baseball bat if they come home in the night. It's like that.
Yeah.
So that's what your cell is, which means your entire core has changed on the cellular level. And that manifests as cancer. You know, also cancer is extreme anger and extreme bitterness, because it fires up your cell, right?
Yeah.
You're burning your system. And anger only burns you, it doesn't burn any.
And it spreads like fire
It
also,
spreads like
right? In the
fire
body.
also.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much like that.
Yeah. So that's how it works.